Hello students, today we're going to learn about dividing with decimals when you're dividing by a multiple of 10. We already learned about how to do this with multiplying, but let's do a little bit of review because it'll help us understand the division better. So we've got 8 and 42 hundredths, and we want to multiply it by 10, by 100, and by 1,000. If you remember, our number system is based on 10, most likely because people have 10 fingers, but who knows how the history of it for sure. So when we multiply by 10, we're really moving over one place. So when we multiply 8 and 42 hundredths by 10, we swoop the decimal one time because we have changed by a magnitude of 10, and that's what our number system is based on. So our answer would be 42 and 2/10. When we're multiplying by 100, that's like multiplying by 10 and then multiplying by 10 again. So we would move the decimal two times and end up with 842. Hopefully this is review. Hopefully it's ringing a bell with you. How many times would we swoop when we multiply by 1,000? Well, it would be 3 times. And you notice we only had 2 numbers to swoop by. We've got kind of a space there. So of course, we're going to fill it in with our good friend placeholder 0. And we just need to put a comma so that it's easy to recognize that the 8 is indeed in the thousands place. Okay. Now what we want to do is learn to do this with division. And let's see if my good old undo button can help me out a whole lot here. And we're good there. All right, so I'm going to do some erasing. Get rid of these multiplication signs. And add some division, and we will see what happens. So if you remember, what's the relationship between multiplying and dividing? Hopefully you're thinking, well, they are opposites, and that would be exactly correct. So we're going to change here. Since we were swooping to the right when we were multiplying, when we divide, it's the opposite. So we're going to swoop to the left. So let me get my blue back. So if we're dividing by 10, how many places are we going to move? We're going to move 1. We're going to move 1 place to the left. So we end up with 0 and 842 thousandths, or just 842 thousandths. How many times would we swoop the decimal to the left if we're dividing by 100? Well, it's like dividing by 10 again. You notice there's nothing out there in front. So we're going to have to put one of those placeholder zeros there. All right, so we end up with 842 ten thousandths, which we don't really know about in 5th grade, but it works the same anyway. All right, so we are going to divide by 1,000, which means we would swoop 3 times. We're going to need 2 placeholder zeros in the front. And we would end up with 842 100 thousandths, which we don't need to know the name of that. Anyway, we'd end up with 0.00842. All right, so that's the gist of it. And now you need to go do the Nearpod.